We need leaders that inspire greatness, don't we? And that's what you can do. Your best leaders build extraordinary connections. Begin to build what I call your code of honor. The promises you want to make and keep for yourself as far as what type of leader you want to be. If we don't deal with the emotions that are driving our behaviors, it's almost like shaking a Sprite can. At some point, it's going to blow. That mood, that attitude, and that emotional exchange is vitally important. And what I want you to do beginning today is to become almost hyper-aware of your mood, hyper-aware of your emotional exchange. You can inspire people by what? Not only by your words, but your behavior. I mean, how you live your life. You don't even really have to say a whole lot. It's just how you show up, how you treat them, how you inspire them with your behaviors. We need to understand that emotions drive behaviors. Just write that down. Emotions drive behaviors. Not only do they drive behaviors, but they actually drive our performance levels. Emotions do. And you're a corporate leader. You're kind of like a corporate athlete. You've got to be thinking about your response. You've got to train yourself in scenarios of how to stay calm. I'm going to give you some tactics here to help self-manage yourself. It's called SOSS. The first S is learn to stop. Everyone say stop. When you get in an emotional hijacked state, you're dealing with somebody, the best thing you can do is disengage so you can re-engage more powerfully. The next O is oxygenate. Oxygenate, that's just simply breathe. I get up early, and the first hour of my day is a 20-20-20. 20 minutes of solitude and spiritual focus. I try to journal out a prayer. 20 minutes of personal development where I read. And then 20 minutes I just spend and I start thinking, what are my priorities for that day? What's my vital three for the day? That hour creates a sense of momentum. I always tell leaders, start slow and you'll finish fast. But if you try to start fast, you'll finish slow. So learn how to stop and breathe and oxygenate. The next S is strength and appreciation. Appreciation. Gratitude has to be practiced and learned. And the final thing is then seek solutions. Then seek solutions. What are some of the key competencies? I want to just share some of these because people are always asking, well, what are some of the core competencies of emotional intelligence? Your ability, number one, like here, can you all see this? Your ability to build teams, teamwork. That's number one. Number two is what we're going to talk about in my second major point, which is self-awareness. Just getting super aware that your mood, your attitude, and your emotion is contagious and how much emotional impact you have. So self-awareness is a very big one. Another key competency is conflict management. I love John Maxwell. He gives this amazing story. It's a true story of people that have a lot of financial means and they go over to Switzerland to learn how to climb mountains and climb some of the Alps. And they go to a 2-day climbing school. And it's a real deal. I mean, you got to learn how to work as a team, and you rope up and all the equipment. And they go. And these are people that are paying major bucks. They're coming from all over the world to climb this Swiss Alp. And after 2 days of training, they say, okay, tonight you go to bed, and we'll get you up at 3:30 in the morning. Try to get a couple hours sleep. You're going to gear up, and we're going to head up to the halfway house. The guides are going to be there ahead of us. You get some lunch at the halfway house, fuel your bodies, and then we're going to summit, and it's going to be the most spectacular thing you've ever experienced. But it's going to be also the toughest thing you've ever experienced. Emotional, physical, it will test you to the core. But get ready, tomorrow we're going. And they're like little kids, they can't sleep. How can you sleep before a night like that? And at 3:30, the lights come up and they say, gear up. And they put their gear on and they head out. And within 100 yards, it's a lot more arduous than they ever thought. It's one thing when you practice. It's another thing when you really climb. And they get up there, but they said almost 100% of the time, everybody makes it to the halfway house. And they get in there and they take their gear off and they sit down and there's a warm sandwich and they eat their sandwich and they drink their coffee and they have their hot chocolate and they've got about a 30-minute lunch, and then before they get too warmed up, they go, okay guys, let's gear up. And according to this climbing school, about 50% of the people they said it's almost always about a 50% rate, half of the people say, no, I'm staying here. I'm going to have another sandwich. I'm going to have more hot cocoa. You guys can summit. I'm staying here. And they said the interesting thing is you can never determine who's going to finish. It's kind of like the people you least suspect. And the people that quit at the halfway house, it's like, man, I would have never thought that guy would have stopped. And they get the gear back on, and when they head out the door, the people that are leaving have real sober looks because they know they're in for it. And the people that stay in the halfway house get kind of giddy. It's almost like a little party breaks out. Until they look out the window about 2 hours later and they take out that frost and they go, hey guys, come here, take a look at this. And they look up and there they are. They're summiting. And they're taking out their international flags. And they're high-fiving. And they're embracing one another. And then the halfway house gets very quiet. And when the summiters come down and they walk through the door, guess who wants to party? The summiters. My final charge to you is this. No matter who you are, no matter where you are with this company, in your interpersonal relationships, in life, don't quit. Summit. Summit. Predetermined to summit. I want to thank you for the gift of your time. I want to thank the founders of this company, the leadership team of this company for putting on such a spectacular event. I mean, this is really world-class, you guys, and you are truly a world-class group. Thank you so much. God bless you.